take the advice too literal, and then I'll just like show up there and be stranded. I'm like, what do I do now?
Yeah, there's not gonna be. You don't have anywhere booked. You're just at the airport. Like, wait, I'm missing something.
So over the past week, Casey and I were traveling together, and we learned a lot about each other and how we're similar in the ways that we like to travel.
Yeah. So one of my favorite things to do when traveling is like not really having a set plan. Obviously we had conference, so our next few days were all planned out. But the day that we got to Ottawa, we literally were just like, let's just wander around and see what we find. So like stopping at a patio, getting a drink and like an appetizer, and then, you know, going for a walk and doing it all over again. Just continuously off patio hopping and trying oysters one place and oysters at another place and getting an espresso martini here, getting a glass of wine there, like going to a pub, Rich getting a Guinness, like just, I don't know, not having a plan is like the best plan for, like I think in my calendar, because I always have to have my calendar like time blocked, and it just said like explore. And that's what we did for like 12 hours.
Well, it's hard. Like you can research, you can do everything, but once you're there, you'll like be, if you're too planned, you're like walking by the things, you're like, oh, like I actually want to do that instead. So it's like, I think it's better to be more open with certain things, and then you can kind of just give yourself the freedom to like do what you want and see what you want and prioritize like what, you know, what works. And I just find like when you're too scheduled with traveling, you just can't enjoy it the same, you know? So
the only thing that I would suggest always making sure you book is like if you have a restaurant that you really want to eat dinner at, making a reservation for there, especially if it's a popular restaurant. Like we had one place that we wanted to go because it was in the top 100 in Canada, and I think I booked that reservation like 2 weeks out. So if I hadn't booked it, like it was packed that whole night. So always make sure you book your like dinner reservations and have those planned, but everything else just
do it freely.
Casual. Yeah, that was one thing. Like on our honeymoon when we were in France and Italy, we didn't really ever have a plan. And I don't know, like for my personality type, you'd think that would stress me out, but it was actually better because we just got to do whatever we felt like doing that day when we woke up. Let's go to the beach this day. Let's go shopping this day. Let's go, you know, tour around this area this day. And we were literally only ever booking our, like our next city we were going to, like two or 3 days in advance. So, like, I don't know. It was such a cool way to travel. I would seriously recommend it.
Yeah, well, even, like, talking to you guys and you guys telling me that you, like, barely planned anything, I'm like, oh, like, you don't have to plan? Like, it, like, gave me so much, like, relief. I'm like, oh, my God, like, because I'm not the type to, like, for work, I'm very good with my schedule, but, like, everything else, I'm like, if it's too planned, I'm stressed about it, and then I don't want to do it.
Yeah. Well, and you've been saying, I'm not going to go on a honeymoon because I don't have time to plan one. So we just said, don't. Like,
just show up. And I'm like, oh, you can do
to
that.
Paris and a hotel for Paris, and then the rest we did as we were there.
Yeah, which is totally my style.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do that.
Good discounts on rooms, Airbnbs and stuff. You have to be flexible about where you're going to stay, but lots of people cut their rates like in half when you're booking only a couple days in advance because they want that room to go. So you actually get lots of good deals for Airbnbs. Hotels, not so much, but but yeah, so now she's gonna go on a honeymoon, a proper one, because she knows she doesn't have to have it planned before, because it's just impossible to plan a honeymoon and a wedding at the same time and be a realtor.
Or I'll take the advice too literal, and then I'll just like show up there and be stranded. I'm like, what do I do now?
Yeah, there's not gonna be, you don't have anywhere booked. You're just at the airport like, wait, I'm missing something. But no, it's honestly like just enjoy traveling and meet people and do
eat good
whatever.
food, see everything you want to see, and just have a good old time.